March 24th, 2025. Review of reading Joshua chapter 7, 8, and 9 with a little bit of, it's First Chronicles 2:7 in there because it's talking about Achan, the sin of Achan. But reading the Bible and in a year chronologically, it'll bring in different parts of the Bible that apply. And so we get the sin of Achan, which is Achan's greed. He went against what he was told to do, and that was to, hey, anything that you take of gold, silver, iron, bronze, so all those precious metals, they go to God. They go to the house of the Lord. Achan didn't do that. He decided he had to have some of that for himself, his greed, and he went and buried it in his tent. And he was found out. Actually, it was found out because Israelites, yeah, we're gonna go beat Ai. Yep, we got this. Lord's went with us. We saw this happen. We just defeated Jericho. We got this. We're going. They go and boom, they go running. 36 of them die, and rightly so. Jeremiah falls on his face before the Ark of the Covenant and prays to God. God says, "Get up. Hey, there's sin in the camp. Got to drive it out. I'll show you. I'll show you how this works." And so he does. So one man's sin, one man's disobedience in that group caused the lack of favor on that group. But when that group banded together and drove that sin out, drove that problem that they had, they got rid of it, then the blessing came back and they were able to defeat their enemies at that point. God gave them how they were going to do that, and they obeyed, and they did. Don't think that we're not full of that and not subject to that. But what else is coming in? Are we on guard against those sins, those things that are trying to come in, and as greed or whatever it may be? We need to be on guard for that, whether it's in our family, whether it's in our church, our job, or whatever. If we have favor of the Lord, are we guarding against losing that favor? Just a thought. So that's the sin of Achan. Remove all those things. Let's see. They do defeat and destroy their enemy. Then they're fooled, deceived by the Gibeonites. That's kind of strange in here. Okay, so the Gibeonites, play a trick on them. They deceive them. They go say, we're from far away. Make a treaty with us. They were afraid. They went to them afraid and said, "This is our only way out." And Joshua and the rest of the elders and leaders didn't say, "Hey, God, is this real? Is this from you? Is this what's right? Is this what we should do?" No, they just, "Well, this looks right. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't we make a treaty with them, right?" And here it was, a town that they were told to destroy. Now they have made a vow in the name of the Lord that they can't break, and they now have to keep them there. Well, the Gibeonites were smart about this because they knew that they were going to be destroyed. They just saw Ai completely destroyed and wiped out, and they were willing to uh, give up their freedom instead of being chased out or being killed. There's got to be more to that, more lesson in there than that. Where it does tell us that the people of Gibeon, the Gibeonites, ended up being those slaves, the woodcutters and the water carriers for the community and for the altar. So they it was either that or death. Um, Sometimes, which is better, which is worse. So the last point, or that I picked up, again, this is just because I'm noticing this throughout, but Joshua built some altars in places, and they're markers. And what he says to do in these markers is, "Hey, I'm building these markers. Now when we walk by these and your children walk by these, remember what happened here, that the Lord gave us victory in this." We see this pile of stones over Achan. remember what this pile of stones is about is the sin of Achan that caused this death and destruction for these 36 Israelites that causes problems. Didn't the people didn't, but Achan's sin caused problems. It caused them to be defeated. So some markers in our life when we win, when we lose, when God's there for us, when God's with us. How can we use those markers to tell about God, the things in our life that we've lived through? I guess that's what's speaking to me through this again tonight. That's God is so good. That's all I can say.